Hey everybody, Meteorologist Amy Sweezey here with Florida Weather Authority. Myself, Tom Sorrells, and Dr. Rob Eicher make up Florida Weather Authority. I appreciate you being here, and we are so excited to have all of our new subscribers to our weather channel. Today is Monday, August 17th, and we're going to start off with a quick tropics update because on Friday and over the weekend, of course, there were several things that we were monitoring, and now we are monitoring nothing at all. That is the most important thing to remember when it comes to hurricane season. And that is that just because the Hurricane Center is watching an area and it's got an 80% chance of developing, it does not necessarily mean it's going to. If you remember last Friday, Dr. Rob Eicher was talking about these two areas that were over here in the open Atlantic, and they both had an opportunity to develop. However, he also talked about the fact that there was a lot of really strong wind shear, and we had some dust from Africa that were really working against these systems. So they did not develop. They both completely fell apart. And in fact, when you look right now at the satellite imagery, you can see there's a little bit of leftover cold clouds. I wouldn't even call it storms, but there's some rain, there's some clouds right here over by the Leeward Islands, the Windward Islands, making its way to the west. That's actually the second circle that we were watching last week. The first one moved over into the Central Caribbean and basically completely fell apart. So, not really concerned. That's another reason why it's a good reminder that when you saw all the things on social media and on other YouTube channels that were like, oh, Dolly's about to form, Edouard is about to form, we've got the next Dolly, we've got the next Edouard. Neither one of them formed. So just be careful who you're listening to. We don't call storms their actual name until they actually form. So, once a storm forms and it gets the name Dolly, that's when I'll start calling it Dolly. So not going to call it future Dolly or future Edouard until we actually have the storms because it's just confusing. All right. The other thing I want to show you is the Pacific Ocean, which I know has nothing to do with Florida. However, this was really interesting over the weekend. See this little blip way over here? That is what is left of Tropical Storm Lala. Now, Lala actually did not make landfall in Hawaii, but it did skirt the island on Sunday as a hurricane, and it brought inches and feet of rain, some flooding concerns, some mudslides. Was briefly a hurricane. Now it's back down to a tropical storm, but it really impacted the Big Island. And in fact, here's a picture of a bridge with some of that flooding that happened there on the Big Island of Hawaii. 125,000 people plus lost power from the storm, and a few homes were even swept off their foundation. So there's going to be a little bit of time for all of the cleanup to happen. Obviously, it's a small little island. That's the big island there. There's, Maui and Oahu and Kauai, all the other little islands. The center now, as of Monday morning, of Lala is way over here away from the islands. It's going to continue pushing to the west. It is expected to re-intensify and become a hurricane once again tomorrow into Wednesday and then curve to the north by the end of this week. But because of its proximity to these islands, it is going to still kick up a whole lot of surf and waves and rip currents and tides and other things that they're concerned about there. So no doubt the folks in Hawaii, if you have any friends there, if you see the pictures on the news, they're going to be dealing with this for at least another week. Now, back here talking about our weather, at least our tropical weather in the state of Florida. This is a computer loop here that shows the clouds out over the Atlantic Ocean. You can see here is Hawaii, see, I have Hawaii on the brain. Here is Florida. Here is South America. Over here is Africa. And you can kind of notice here our map from Weatherfront. See that brownish color and off of Africa? That's the dust, the Saharan dust coming off the desert. This trough up here is going to block that dust from making its way all the way to Florida. So we're not going to have any more of it. We had some over the weekend that was impacting us, but now notice that dust though is between Africa and South America. And notice on this map, that's one of the locations where tropical storms generally form in August. Hurricanes also forming in the month of August in that main development region. So, that dust is going to help suppress anything that tries to develop. As we get closer to the peak of the season, which happens in early September in the next few weeks, we could certainly start talking more about systems developing. But at least in the next several days, as of right now, Hurricane Center is not concerned about anything developing. So we will, of course, continue to monitor it. We will keep you posted. We're going to have tropical updates for you all season long right here on Florida Weather Authority. If you have not liked our channel yet or subscribed to our channel, liked this video, please do so. And of course, I am going to be talking about the heat more later today in a separate video, so make sure you check that out as well. Thanks for joining me on this Monday. I am meteorologist Amy Sweezey, along with Tom Sorrells and Rob Eicher. We are Florida Weather Authority.